What's up? Welcome back to Abandoned Anomalies, a series where I talk about some of my favorite abandoned or defunct places. Today we'll be talking about Discovery Island. Approximately 2 miles east of Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom Park in Kissimmee, Florida, within the large Bay Lake, lies a seemingly unassuming island, consumed with foliage. This island, now appearing as simply a cluster of trees among the water, was once the site of a thriving Disney theme park known as Discovery Island. In the early 1960s, Disney acquired this property as part of the Florida Project. Disneyland had opened in 1955, and plans were already in motion for a second theme park in Florida. When it opened in 1974, this park was originally called Treasure Island and took on a pirate theme. There were shipwrecks, exotic birds, buried treasure, and more. However, being largely centered on its observable wildlife, the park was renovated and rebranded as Discovery Island in the early 80s, after being recognized as a zoological park. Discovery Island housed about 150 birds and small primates. It was also home to the world's last dusky seaside sparrow, which is now extinct. The island also featured attractions such as Parrot's Perch, Discovery Island's bird show featuring macaws, cockatoos, and other exotic birds, Monkey Colony, featuring capuchin monkeys, Tortoise Beach, the home of 5 Galapagos tortoises, Eagles Watch, featuring bald eagles, and many more. However, the park soon faced lawsuits, initiated by PETA, regarding the treatment of animals there after occasions of supposedly killing the vultures that landed on the island. Disney was charged with 16 counts of animal cruelty in 1989 for this reason. On April 8, 1999, Disney announced that Discovery Island would close to the public, exactly 25 years after its opening. The park continued to operate until July 9, 1999, at which point all the animals housed on the island had been relocated to the newly opened Animal Kingdom. Disney never officially disclosed the reason why Discovery Island was closing, but a likely theory is that the park lost some traction due to the larger and more interesting Animal Kingdom park opening a year before. However, here's where it gets interesting. While the closure of Discovery Island was announced to the public in 1999, there's actually evidence of Disney negotiating the demolition of this site back in 1997. This was just before the opening of Animal Kingdom. Does this bring in the possibility of other reasons? Since closing, Discovery Island has sat abandoned, with nothing being done to the property. This is quite perplexing, since real estate like that has so much potential, especially at the hands of a corporation like Disney. Why just leave it? Alas, aside from weather damage and typical decay you would expect from a theme park sitting in neglect for decades, all buildings and attractions still remain untouched on the island, as if frozen in time. The island is visible from certain locations in Magic Kingdom, so if you guys are ever in the area, try and sneak a peek. From a distance, of course. Actually, traveling to the island is strictly prohibited and illegal. The island is under constant surveillance and is heavily guarded. Several explorers have made it to the island before, some even capturing some awesome footage to share with the world of YouTube. I'll be including some of these clips at the end of this video. But many received disciplinary action, a gallant sacrifice in the name of urban exploration. In fact, in April of 2020, a man named Richard McGuire was arrested for camping out on the island. He had to pay a $100 fine for this infraction and is now banned for life from Disney World. And just for reference, the current rule is that nobody is allowed within 50 feet of Discovery Island's shoreline. Overstepping that boundary is considered trespassing, and legal action may be taken. On another occasion, writer and photographer Shane Perez once managed to sneak onto the abandoned Discovery Island by swimming there. He and his cohorts took several pictures of the grounds, revealing a disturbingly eerie scene of baby vultures and preserved state carcasses being preserved in jars. Disney was obviously not cool with their adventure and threatened to ban Perez and his friends for life from their theme parks as well. I've included a link to this blog in the description, where you can see more detailed info about his findings and more photos from his trip. There's been plenty of speculation over the years as to what really happened to Discovery Island. Why did it really close? Why is it being left abandoned instead of being repurposed? And why is so much effort being made to keep people from seeing what's on the island? Theories range from things like a deadly amoeba contaminating the water, to ideas as extreme as the government purchasing the island as a death camp or for human trafficking. but I suppose we can never know if there is any validity to these conspiracy theories. Discovery Island also happens to be adjacent to another abandoned Disney theme park, the water park formerly known as River Country. So now I'll turn it over to Adam, who's put together a little snippet on the history of River Country for us.
Thanks for having me, Shai. Hello viewers, I am Adam, or Mr. Macabre. You want to learn about River Country? Well, I'm sure I can give you some insight. River Country is one of 2 abandoned Disney water parks, opening its gates on June 20th, 1976 after steady development on the shore of Bay Lake, Florida. River Country saw general success and favorability among guests. After a steady decline in attendance, which was partially due to the new park, Animal Kingdom, opening, the occurrence of 9/11 heavily affecting travel, alongside a slew of maintenance costs, the park was closed permanently. Alongside these issues, several deaths also occurred at the park. The most notable was the death of an 11-year-old boy in 1980, who died after becoming infected by amoeba found in Florida's waters. The other 2 deaths were due to drowning, negligence on the part of lifeguards present at the time. The Disney company indefinitely closed the park in early November 2001, and 4 years later, after 4 years of closure, announced the park would remain closed permanently. Since then, the park has remained completely untouched and exposed to the elements. A particularly interesting and spooky note I'd like to mention is the fact that to this day, the song that plays over the intercom when the park closes still plays. The lights that remain functional still work, confirming the Disney company didn't shut off power to the park for unknown reasons. Oh, and one more thing. I just want to say I really like the logo to this water park. Mainly because it has Goofy on it, and I really like Goofy. Goofy's cool as shit, why wouldn't you like him? Okay, thanks for having me. Talk to you later, guys.
Thanks, Adam. Now, before we go, I'd like to close out with some interesting clips from other YouTubers who have explored Discovery Island since its abandonment. Enjoy!
I mean, think about this. This is all writing from 1999. This is 21 years ago. Even though it's just a shell, it's the atmosphere that it's in. The type of place that it is. The history. Look at how clean the phone is. And look, there's an original Disney Discovery Island sticker right here on this little candle thing. That is incredible. Guys, I'm low-key having a panic attack because of all the dead spiders that are on there right now.
And they're discussing the demolition of this site. This is on June 2nd, 1997. Now Disney, all of a sudden in 1999, just announced out of nowhere that they were going to close it, and no one really knows why they closed it specifically. But this is kind of interesting because it shows that they were planning on demolishing this place 2 years before they announced that they would close the place. So this is kind of like a little minor discovery here.
Would you look at that? Now we know how to get around. This is a brochure. Yeah. So we can actually point ourselves in the direction of where we're supposed to go. This is a good find. So check it out. There are 22 destinations here. And we're going to try and see all of them. Digging around in this building, we found an actual photograph of a family at Discovery Island.
Yeah.
Is there a date on the back or anything? No. Definitely old though.
Yeah, no date.
Very cool. So we're trying to cross-reference this brochure with the Google Maps satellite image. Guys, we're literally right behind the concession stands right now. This is what the workers would be seeing. Refrigerator doors must be fully closed. Please make sure this is closed. Thanks, Dawn. I guess the manager's name was Dawn.